You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I am back. Rudrance for Black and White Sports 2. Well, I've said before that it seems like the NFL is sort of a juggernaut that cannot be brought down. However, I've also brought up the fact that there was a time when Major League Baseball was the number one sport in all of sports. Doesn't seem that long ago to somebody like me that's closing in on 50 years old. I can blatantly remember when Major League Baseball was the United States number one pastime. Now it's the NFL. The ratings are huge, and it seems like nothing can bring down the NFL except anything that has to do with the integrity of the product on the field. And the NFL better be very, very careful here. There's a lot of NFL fans that are already questioning outcomes of games and NFL referee decisions. My God, that Chiefs and Bengals situation, I mean, it got a lot of play on this channel because a lot of fans were like, what the hell's going on right now? And if there's ever a situation where the integrity is questioned or there's a massive scandal, I believe it will come by way of gambling. They find out a player did something on the field to change the outcome, or a referee did something on the field to change the outcome in relation to betting. Well, now, yikes, a curtain has been peeled back, and a source has come out and said there is an NFL player that lost $8 million on gambling in 2022. My wife just looked at me like, what? I've got Florio, and we've also got words from Calvin Ridley, of course, who plays for the Jags now. And he is just coming out and saying out loud, it bothers him, it frightens him that he could be suspended in that way, and his fellow players didn't completely straighten their asses up. Because he's like, this is real. You saw what happened to me. And yet you're still getting in trouble. How many players have gotten in trouble this year? 5 or 6 already? This could be the thing that cuts the NFL, that wounds it. Yeah. So, the NFL prohibits all non-players from betting on sports. Players, for reasons neither obvious nor apparent, are permitted to legally wager on non-NFL games and events. Here's another reason why they shouldn't be. Per a league source with knowledge of the situation, one NFL player lost $8 million, through gambling in 2022. Again, the NFL fully controls the gambling policy with no input from the NFL Players Association. And the league, inexplicably, has decided to let players legally bet on sports even though non-players cannot. Chris Sims had a theory, as he expressed on Tuesday's PFT Live, is that the league lets players legally bet so that the sports books can make money from young guys with lots of cash to burn. I don't know that I believe that. The fact that one player lost $8 million last year tends to bolster what otherwise could be dismissed as the musings of a Howie Roseman top 5 conspiracy theorist. Yeah, I don't know that I buy that from Chris Sims, but there's obviously something going on, and with this many players and now this coming out, there's a whole lot more players betting than we thought there was. How much money are other players betting? How much money are other players losing? The reality is that the house always wins over the long haul. The house hopes that you become sufficiently emboldened by short-term success to believe you stumbled upon a system or something and that you will keep winning, and winning. You won't, you'll lose, they win, you lose. Well, there's a reason they've got massive towers and massive places to gamble called casinos all over the place now. All over the place. You know, the house is paying for that stuff somehow. There's a reason why BetMGM can get the entire Manning family onto betting commercials. Peyton, Eli, Archie, And the other one, I can't remember the other one's name all of a sudden. Oh, well. Calvin Ridley has come out and he is warning players, like, just stay away from gambling. I mean, it's crazy. Wide receiver Calvin Ridley was sidelined for the entire 2022 NFL season after the league handed down a year-long suspension after he bet on football games. An investigation revealed that Ridley placed bets on NFL games over a 5-day period in November of 2021 while he was away from the Atlanta Falcons. Last November, the Falcons traded Ridley to the Jacksonville Jaguars in exchange for multiple future picks. In case anybody forgot, Calvin Ridley is a badass receiver, so I'm going to be interested to see how he helps out Trevor down there. The NFL fully reinstated Ridley in March, which made him eligible to participate in all teams' activities. Ridley's story served as a reminder of just how seriously the league takes its betting policy. But in recent weeks, several players have been suspended for violating the very policy. Some of the violators bet on NFL games, while others placed wagers on football games that were not affiliated with the league. Oh, that's interesting. So XFL, USFL, college maybe. However, both acts are considered direct violations of the NFL's gambling policy. Earlier this week, Jacksonville Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson said Ridley wants to be a resource for his teammates when it comes to following NFL rules. Meanwhile, Ridley mentioned that he was bothered by the suspensions. Quote, "Yeah, it bugs me a little because my NFL buddies didn't look at me and say, 'Oh man, hell, that's serious.'" Ridley told the Florida Times-Union, "I wish they would have looked at me and said, 'Wow, they did him like that. I hope it doesn't happen to me because that's what I've done.'" The 28-year-old added that he thought his punishment would make other players around the league more hesitant to be involved with gambling. "If I would have seen one of my NFL buddies get slammed like that, I would have been a little bit afraid and watching myself. But, you know, it is what it is. They have to learn the hard way like I did. It's going to be all right, though." But Ridley did note that a few players have contacted him, and he tried to educate them about the situation. Quote, "I think even for me, once I found out I was getting investigated, I didn't even know how serious it was. I was like, okay, cool. I didn't know how serious it was until I left that interview. It's just schooling the guys on not to do it. It's not worth it at all. I really think we need to understand how serious it is. We kind of go over it, and then it's gone. It's a real serious offense. You don't want it to mess with the integrity of the game and your job. Just stay away from it." And it goes on to talk about, of course, him and Trevor Lawrence hooking up. But that's the thing. This has got to send up warning signals to the NFL. Blinking, eat at Joe diner signs ought to be blinking. You may have a huge gambling problem. Now we got a player involved in sports betting, $8 million. And this goes to show you the NFL is going to catch these players, it looks like. But if this many players are betting, and look, there's already people talking out there about this player being a quarterback. When you're talking about $8 million in 1 year, that's somebody that's making a lot of funds annually. And there are rumors that it could be a quarterback out there or one that just retired. I don't know how much truth there is to that. If that takes a step further, that will become one of the bigger stories in sports. But I kind of doubt that. You never know. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.